We are gearing up for one of my all-time favorite weeks in my business every year. So multiple times a year, we host our Visionary CEO Mastermind retreats. And these are multiple days here at our home. We often have them in other places all over the country, and people fly in from all over the world. And it's an opportunity for all of us as small business owners, as entrepreneurs, to get up out of the weeds of our businesses and into our sweet spot as visionary CEOs, to really be able to see beyond the muck and mire of running a business and into that vantage point that allows us to see beyond the present moment. So much of our time as founders is often sucked into the day-to-day, which is really about maintaining what is, not stepping into what could be. So the conversation I wanted to have today is the power of getting out of your business, like literally tangibly out of your business, not just, oh, you got to work on your business, not in your business. No, I mean literally getting on a plane and getting away from your home, getting away from your work, and being super strategic with how you leverage that time. These events, we've been hosting them for over 12 years now. They are always so transformative for the people that attend. And for me, I learn so much each time, and then we enhance them each time. So I want to give you a little sneak behind the curtain into what these events look like and why we plan them the way that we do, so that you can take these concepts and leverage them in your own business for exponential growth. How you can start to plan your own visionary CEO days and retreats that allow you to get up out of the weeds and into that next level of your business, into your big next. So let's jump into it. If you are watching, not just listening, we are finally putting the podcast studio together. We've been working hard over here. You can see I have some semblance of a backdrop, although what is on the shelves might adjust and change because I did it myself, and that is not my strength. That is just not my strength. We painted the wall. My husband put up some shelves, and we've got the right lighting and all the things that we've been working on for some time. But it's nice to just be in a space where I feel inspired. I can just plug and play. And that's the key to actually staying consistent with the things that you do, is make it a low barrier to entry to actually do the thing, right? Like if I had to come in here and I had to set up the lights every time that I sat down, and I had to fidget with the camera and tech that I don't ever really know how to use, versus flip a switch, hit a button, and just start talking to you guys, I'd probably never record video. So today I'm excited to bring you a conversation that is very near and dear to my heart, because I feel like it's one of my sweet spots. It's something that I've done for a very long time now. It's an area where our team has built some mastery, and it's something that keeps drawing founders and entrepreneurs back to us, which is hosting these visionary CEO retreats. Of course, that's not what they were called back in the day. They were just opportunities for us to host these entrepreneurial events and retreats. And the reason I want to talk to you about it is because I want to give you a glimpse behind the curtain of what these events actually look like and how you can start to implement what we do specifically in these events for yourself in your business. It is so powerful to get up out of the weeds, up out of the day-to-day, up out of the maintenance of what is and into the possibility of what can be. And I think sometimes when we're in our traditional environment, whether it be home office or, you work in a storefront or whatever it is for you, it's almost like quicksand, right? You get sucked into whatever screams the loudest, whatever's the squeakiest, whatever's right in front of you, versus being able to be in this inspired headspace, to not have a pile of laundry staring you down if you work from home like me, or not having the kids knocking on the door every 2 seconds. And really be that visionary CEO that your business requires you to be in order for you to step into what's next for you. We hear it all the time, Pareto principle, 80-20 rule of 80% of the results that you create, right? Like the big growth that you create comes from 20% of your focus, yet we flip it, right? Like we put 80% of our focus on the stuff that's only producing 20% of our results. And if you were to analyze your time, I have yet to meet a founder that is not true, that they have to make those adjustments. So one really powerful way you can do that in a quick burst is if you create these preserved, protected periods of time that are very intentional for you to be a visionary CEO. Now, it's tougher to do on your own, which is why we like to do it through the model of a mastermind, is because it's very plug and play. Like you come in and we know exactly what to walk you through to get you the results you want and get you the transformation you want. The other thing is there's so much power behind a big push and momentum. So we really like these small bursts of time that produce unproportionate, massive, exponential results. I'll share with you what we focus on, what we do not focus on, the questions that we're asking, and the reason for why this is so valuable and so powerful, and how this is not unique to us, right? Like we didn't come up with this concept, but we've mastered the concept in a way that allows our visionaries and our founders to really see the impact of it. At the time of this recording, next week, we are opening up our home and having people come in for the final of the 3 events of our Visionary CEO Mastermind. Our program runs for about 9 months, and it's a container where we have both virtual and in person. I really believe in the in-person piece. We have people flying in from all over the world. It's so powerful to be in the room, to have a process you follow, to have accountability, and to have the guidance, right? Like to have the advisors, the trusted advisors in your life to answer the key questions and to reveal to you the things that you just can't see when you're beating your head against the wall trying to figure it out on your own. I want to break down exactly why stepping away from the daily grind is so critical, how to make the most of your time when you do it, and why that visionary CEO mindset and getting in that physical environment is one of the most powerful weapons for success. I know for me, I am a very all or nothing person. I like small bursts of really hyper focus. So years ago, when we lived in Wisconsin, or earlier in our time living in Wisconsin, once we got settled, we were like, we would really love our friend, Sarah, who's an organizer, to come out and help us get our life together. Now, typically we used her when we lived out east. She would come, once a month for a couple hours and help you set some stuff up. That never works well for me. I'm like, how do I block my calendar for a week and just get it done and create this wild momentum in the right direction? So that's what we did. We flew her out to Wisconsin. She stayed in our house for a week. It was awesome. She's a really good friend of ours. And we just hit it hard. I took the week off from work and we just powered through getting our house organized. And there's something that comes from taking yourself out of the monotony or the routine of the day-to-day and fully steeping yourself in a focus towards an accomplishment, towards something that you want to achieve, that creates then a ripple effect that transcends that week of time, for example. And that's what we're doing with these retreats, with these mastermind events. You cannot innovate or cast vision or scale if you're stuck in the daily chaos or the process, right? It's not just a logistical thing, it's a strategic move. I'm going to walk you through how to set yourself up to be able to leave for a few days, because that's the big pushback I get from a lot of the founders when they first come in. They're like, oh my gosh, if I shift my focus away from the business for days, it's all I'm going to come back to a bigger headache than what I left with. So there are ways you can prepare, and I'll walk you through that in a minute. But I first want to talk about why this visionary CEO work is so critical. And the problem is that most entrepreneurs build businesses that demand more of them over time. The more successful you become, the more your business takes a pound of flesh and requires you to give more to it. That is not scaling. Even if the business is growing, that is not scaling. That is straining, right? That is force, not flow. So the paradigm shift to this is going from that operator that the business is fully dependent on to the visionary that the business actually needs in order for it to experience the exponential growth that you think you're pushing towards. So the business is only going to grow to the level that you do. And scaling starts with scaling yourself, unlocking yourself, and allowing the scaling of the business to be a byproduct and a natural occurrence of you becoming who you need to be to lead the business. The same way when you have children, the best way to impact them is to be the model, right? Like to not just to come to your kid and be like, don't yell, don't behave that way, don't have that attitude, but you walk around yelling and behaving that way and have a crap attitude, right? If you are a representation of exactly what you want them to follow and step into, it happens so much more naturally versus I've got to read the books and I've got to study and I got to understand, how do I get my kids to do X, Y, or Z? No, you just be it. That's the same in the world of business. It's like, when you become it, when you become the leader you're called to be, when you are the visionary that is looking beyond the present resources and moment and stressors and chaos, and you can see where you're taking it, the business naturally gravitates towards you and follows you. Your team gravitates towards you and follows you, whether that's off the cliff you're leading them or up the mountain to the peak. So we want to talk about visionary CEO because that's what it is. But the phrasing CEO gets thrown around so much. Like a CEO is an actual role within an organization, right? Like take a corporate structure. I work closely with one of my clients in particular. They have a more corporate structure. They have a CEO. That CEO has a very specific role in the organization. Their primary job is to know, where are we going? Where are we going and how are we getting there? So they have to have that clarity and that leadership and that long-term thinking. Unfortunately, it gets misconstrued. The word CEO gets thrown around just if you own a business. It's not true, right? That's just being an owner and an operator. But we want to get you out of owner and operator and into that visionary CEO role, which is to me an up-leveling of just being a CEO and being able to see beyond. And there's such a high value in the right questions to unearth those answers, because almost every person that I connect with, when it's time for me to step in and help in some way or shepherd them into their big next, I hear two phrases continuously. And these are people who are established and they've seen success. One phrase I hear when I ask them, well, what is next? I don't know. And how are you going to get there? I don't know. I feel stuck, right? Those are two really powerful statements that are, I would say, almost universally made based on the people that I work with. The problem is they aren't building in the time and the space and the margin to ask themselves the right leadership questions that reveal the answers that become then the compass and the map or directions into where they want to go. So they're constantly just doing the same things, hoping for different results, and then not getting where they want to be and feeling that stress and that strain and continuing to function as the operator because they got to keep this thing going. Versus, what am I not seeing that I need to see? What do I need to innovate or iterate? What do I have to envision? What do I have to believe is actually possible, right? So sometimes that's looking from, I don't want to say the negative side, but like asking the question, what is holding me back from exponential growth in my business right now? That is a very powerful question to ask yourself. Take some time after you listen to this just to sit down with a blank piece of paper, write that question at the top. What is holding me back from exponential growth right now? Not just growth, not just growth opportunity. I would even take it one step further. What is holding me back from exponential and aligned growth? Because that's what your big next is. It's not just 10x for the sake of 10x. It's aligned exponential growth in your business right now. And it allows you to start to see the corner pockets of yourself and your business that you're like, oh my gosh, I keep repeating the same mistake. Like this thing that I've identified or these things that I've identified that are actually tangibly holding us back. I'm still doing them. I'm dedicating time and focus to them. I'm in fact intentionally putting them on my calendar, not realizing that they're the stopgap between where I am and where I want to go. Another question that like reveals answers. Now, there are a lot of questions we ask when we have our attendees here. We actually have these playbooks that we create, usually out of my own necessity or my clients' necessities, that help them reveal the answers to the problems they're facing, whether it's something financial, like what would it look like to 10x financially, right? And then here are all here's the playbook, including the prompts you need to ask yourself to reveal the answer to that. But another question that is common that we use a lot is, am I building a business that serves my life or that I'll resent? And it's super clean, right? Like that's not a very complicated question. And it usually isn't a very complicated answer. Yet, have you taken the time to ask yourself that, right? Like, are you building a business that is going to bear fruit in all corners of your life, your family, as a parent, the impact that you're called to make using your gifts? Or are you just financially motivated? Are you just recognition or validation motivated? You can't even find the space to ask yourself these questions when you're stuck reacting to fires, right? Like you can't innovate. You can't pick up a dry erase marker when you got two hands clutching a freaking fire extinguisher and like you've become the firefighter of your business. So it's creating that space. So let's talk a little bit about the elephant in the room that I get asked a lot of, like, all right, that's great, but the reality for me right now is I am sprinting, and that is what keeps things going. So how do I take this time to focus in on the things that really matter so that I can build a business that really matters to me? We talked about it. It is a strategic move. So how do you prep? This is how we help our visionaries prep, because we've got people across all industries. We've got people in real estate where they're like on call all the time. You know, we've got photographers who have booked schedules. We've got people in the coaching space. We've got speakers and authors. We've got people across all different modes of business. And the cool thing is when they come out, they really do put their phones away. They really do block their schedule for this. Now they've had to learn how to do that. One of the key pieces is setting your team up for success, right? You have to create a clear action plan for your team with defined priorities so you don't feel like you're being pulled back into the weeds during this time. And one of the things that we do is we plan for it. So the nice thing is our events are planned way ahead of time. So we can get that information to our visionaries that are attending this program or utilizing this program and say, hey, here are the dates. I want you to get these in front of your team and have a conversation around what it would look like leading up to it. For me, I bulk batch podcast episodes so that I'm not thinking about recording the week that I have people in attendance at my house, right? So there are things that we do strategically to prep us so that we can be fully present for these events. The same thing, our program is the Visionary CEO Mastermind, but you also bring your right hand into the program. You bring in someone that we, with you over those 9 months, train up so that you really can become the visionary CEO, right? Like they become the operator, you become the visionary CEO, and you guys work in harmony to grow the business of your dreams. The cool thing is when you're doing that and you're actually understanding, we're giving you the playbooks to help you prep your team so that you can empower them to make the decisions while you're away, right? It's their opportunity to step up. And if you're not creating opportunities for your team to shine or your team to reveal themselves and make mistakes so that you can understand and discern, are they the right players for us? Do they need more resources? Do they need to be more equipped? You will forever be the operator. You will forever be the one that the business is fully dependent on. So make your absence a growth opportunity and assign roles that stretch leadership muscles, right? Like when I'm away, last week I was in Utah. We have our team call scheduled on Tuesdays. The team call didn't get canceled because I was gone. It was an awesome opportunity for my director of operations to step up and lead that meeting, right? Like that she can come with the ferocity and the excitement and the passion to take us continually into the next level without us missing a beat just because I was out of town. And I didn't have to split my focus when I was somewhere where I needed to be fully present, right? I was doing podcast tour for the book launch and I was meeting with my mentors and our financial advisors. I could have just been like, hey guys, I'm going to carve out this, hour and a half for our team meeting. Every time you have to shift your focus back to a different area where you're not meant to be focused, it takes some time to get back in the groove of where you're meant to be. We blocked that time, right? Like we blocked time and we cleared out the urgent tasks before I left town. And so you're creating a departure mindset in a runway leading up to that event. You're not just like, I'm going to work my tail off up until I get to that point. I'm going to leave and then I'm going to suffer the consequences of having been out of pocket for a few days. It's the mentality of like, this is super purposeful, what I'm about to do. This is going to take us into our next level. Let's all come together as a team and discuss what it could look like to get the most out of Liz going to Utah and experiencing, time with her mentors, or our visionary CEOs coming to this retreat and getting the most out of these few days together so that they're coming back not just refreshed or inspired, but with clear direction of like, oh my gosh, this is the future for us. You're not stepping away to escape. You're stepping away to elevate. And that's a huge difference in your mindset. So let your mind release the day-to-day so that you can come into this fully clear. Now, this is also an opportunity for you to up your boundary game. When people come to these events, they're sovereign adults. We don't tell them what to do. We don't babysit them. But we encourage, hey, shut off your notifications. Even better, shut off your phone. Don't check emails. Because every time you check an email, every time you check Slack, every time you go on Instagram, because you didn't plan to be out of those pockets of your business, you get pulled back in. You're emotionally pulled back in, right? Like you're on fire at the event, you're masterminding, you've innovated a new idea, you're super fired up. And then you see that email from that client that's complaining about something and you emotionally get sucked into that vortex. You lose the momentum and the energy and the positivity of where you're going. You get sucked back into where you are and you miss the opportunity for those few days to be the biggest momentum building that you experience in the whole year because you've chosen to stay in the weeds. You've chosen to get sucked back in. It is a choice. And if you don't prepare, you don't get to make that choice. This is not time off. It's time on your business and on your future and taking you into where you're called to go. Let's talk about how you spend that time away because that's a key piece. That's why I like the mastermind model is because we have the frameworks that we put people through so they don't have to come being like, all right, how am I going to spend this time? Now we do teach within this mastermind, we teach you how to host your own visionary CEO retreats so that you can regularly be having these touch points. They're not like 3 or 4 days. It's like a day. And then we teach you how to have visionary CEO time in your weeks. And it's super powerful for them so that they keep that momentum up all year. And they're not having those moments as frequently of like, I'm stuck or I don't know. However, there's massive power into coming into a built for you framework of like, show up, follow the process, get the exponential results. So for us, we want to bring these elite strategies for maximum possible results. And the 3 pieces of our framework that we walk them through, now each piece of the framework obviously has quite a bit within that model, but the vision, so we want them walking out confident in where they're going in the next 3 to 5 years. Innovation, we want to help them identify what's broken or stuck and create tangible solutions so that they can elevate and they can see, like to us, it's less about a goal or destination because that's so final, it's so stuck, it's so stagnant. We want continuous innovation. We want continuous tweaking your way to victory. So the shift is from goal to trajectory. So we're innovating a new trajectory and we're seeing the points on that trajectory that are going to allow it to grow. And then the third piece is alignment. It's just continually bringing them back into focus. That's such a big piece of your big next is like, is this aligned? Is this what God's calling you to in this season? Is this in congruence with your values, with your family? And we're making everything work in harmony. So you're not setting goals that just sound good. You're not setting goals that are just the next logical step. You're doing things that are so fulfilling and so purposeful and so satisfying and so energizing and so natural for your growth and what you're meant to do. The other thing that we build into this is time for reflection, but guided reflection. I'm not talking about like, hey, go sit and journal in this inspiring environment. I'm talking about really getting strategic and asking the right questions so that we're walking them through a series of prompts. And then we go into creation. So we don't want you just to walk out inspired. We don't want you just to see a vision. We don't want you to just innovate and then have no way of like, what does it look like to create that? What do the numbers need to be? What team do we need to bring in? What resources do we need available? Where are we stuck? And how can we get unstuck? We want you to have the plans that allow you and your team to execute that on that from the minute you get home so that you're not just inspired and on fire and motivated, you're clear, confident, and then creating. And it's all about tapping into that big picture thinking because when you're in your normal environment, when you're at home or at work and you're dealing with all the idiosyncrasies of that, you are missing the opportunity to cast the vision into the future. So you're not just looking at your business, you're looking at your life as a whole. That's a big piece of being a visionary CEO to us is it takes the whole picture into account. You are the common denominator. So if we help you build this ecosystem that is super powerful, but it sucks at your marriage or hurts your family or just completely ignores the calling on your heart, it's not going to align. You're not going to create the legacy that you're born to leave, like that you're proud to put out into the world. And your legacy isn't just what you build, it's how you live as you build it. And that's a big piece of this. So it's so helpful to have these frameworks. The other key piece is you have a room full of mirrors. So when you try to do this in isolation, when you have a framework, it's way more doable. But what's missing is the speed at which you break through. So when you're doing this in a room of other visionaries, they can naturally and immediately see the blind spots that you cannot see, and they can help you rework it in real time. Have you ever done this? Like where you innovate and you come up with this plan that's genius, this product you're going to launch or this thing you're going to do or this initiative or this team you're going to, expand on. When you bring it home to put it into reality, you missed some of those blind spots and then it doesn't land where you thought it was. Like it doesn't do as well or it does well, but you're miserable or you don't have the resources you need or whatever. By having a room of leaders that are just reflecting back to you what you need to see, you break through, like the speed at which you break through is exponentially faster. But on top of that, you're given ideas that you might not consider. And most importantly, you're giving relationships and connections, right? So when you bring that innovation to the table, you get 5 people that are like, I'm going to put you in touch with my editor. Okay, you definitely need to work with this person. They're going to help you build that really fast. Oh, don't go this route. Go this route. It'll save you $100,000. Oh, don't make this mistake. I made this mistake. Have you ever considered this? It's like instant guidance and just multiplying your speed to that trajectory growth. One thing that we do that I love, so I really believe in, like, I'm not interested in being the guru. We really bring in a room that is like you're surrounded with other people who have brilliance in them, right? And they bring those gifts very freely and very generously into the room. So it's like having a room full of mentors. Well, I like to bring my mentors into the room. So at this event upcoming, 2 of my closest mentors, one's attending in person, one's attending virtually. What I'm so excited about is we do something called advisory board. So imagine you had like whoever you consider to be the world's most brilliant business mind. If you had them sitting across from you dedicated to you for an hour. What is the one question you would ask them that you think would allow you to go from where you are into your big next? So I'm not talking like, what's the best funnel strategy? Or how do I increase my conversions by 5%? I'm talking about like the question that's going to unlock you and unlock your business. Well, we have all of our members think about what that question is. Then they send it to us ahead of time, and they actually get to host their own advisory meeting with their board of directors. The head of the board, president of the board, is my mentor who has built hundreds of millions of dollars worth of organizations that he's bought and sold. He's brilliant. They get to ask him these questions. So they're not just leaving there with the tangible, I don't want to say smaller scale because it's big scale stuff, but like the tangible goals or initiatives or innovations. They're leaving there with the solution to taking them into their big next. So they get access to brains that they would never get access to unless they're just going to read their book. They get to sit across the table and have a personal relationship with them and unlock that possibility and see things that they could have never seen on their own. So it's such a separator. And this time away becomes a superpower for you in your business. Like most entrepreneurs, they just stay in the weeds. They might tell you they don't, but they do. If you analyze their time, which is big part of what I do with them, elite leaders know the real work happens outside of those trenches. It's like when they can get a different vantage point, when they can have another voice speaking into them, when they can have people that believe in them when they don't believe in themselves. I'm telling you, the rooms are filled with incredibly successful people who still question themselves, who still have imposter syndrome, who still doubt that the next level is even possible for them, who feel like they're thriving in business but failing in their marriage or falling short as a parent. Like we all have so many of the same struggles. And when you come together, there's just this energy and this electricity that allows for a momentum and an exponential growth that is so hard to manufacture from your desk in your home office. And that's why I believe in this model. So I have had a lot of listeners as of late because I've been sharing more on my social media channels and on here about our mastermind. Now, a couple things about it. We cap it. We want this to be an intimate group because we're letting you into our home. Like we're bringing you around our family. We are exposing you to our Rolodex of connections. We are giving you our best playbooks. We're showing you everything that works. We're sharing our numbers. Like we're doing all the things that we would never do unless we've really well vetted the people in the room and know that every person coming in is going to be of huge value to every other member, and that they're just going to let their guard down and they're going to be the right spirit to step into what's possible for them. It is invite only, but we do allow people to apply. And then potentially from those applications, we send out some invitations. So if you are looking to explore this, you can either DM me on Instagram, the word incubator, and I can send you more information so you can learn. Or you can just go to luminaryleadershipco.com/incubator and get more information. But it is worth exploring. But I will say, this is for people that are ready to step into their big next. Like if it's a year where you're like, I just think I want to maintain what is, or, I'm not quite sure that I want to be in a growth season, it's probably not the right fit. Now, I will say a big piece of it is scaling you, right? So if you're hyper fixated on like, just give me only business strategy. I don't want to talk about myself. I don't want to talk about leadership. I'm perfect. I've got it all figured out. But just like, give me the answers in business. We're not the right fit for you because we believe that business success is an overflow of like unlocking you, helping you through all the things that are blocking you so that the business can thrive. Do we talk business strategy all day, every day? But it has to be in congruence and in conjunction with the first piece. So I like to put that disclaimer on it because some people come in and they're like, yeah, just like help me build my funnel. I'm like, great. But we have to know that this funnel is leading to that trajectory, right? We have to know that this funnel is in congruence with the brand that aligns with your values. That's really important to me. And we need to know that this funnel, I'm just using that as an example, will even sustain or work because you're who you need to be to sustain it. We need to unlock you. We need to get you past so many of the thoughts and the ways of operating and the habits and the things that are keeping you stuck. We have to get you up out of those trenches and get that clarity for you so that you can thrive in every area of your life, because I'm doing you a disservice if I'm helping your business thrive as your family falls apart or as you hate your job or whatever it might be. So the best ideas, they don't come when you're grinding, they come when you create that space and that margin to think. And that's a big piece of what this visionary CEO work is. There's a collective power of doing it within a room of people that are aligned in values and not on the same trajectory, because none of us are, but like similar trajectory, right? Like we have similar growth outlook. We want to do it the right way and we want it to be impactful. And we know that iron sharpens iron, and being surrounded by high-level leaders accelerates the thinking. It challenges your blind spots so you can finally break through and let through them. Like think about the things that hold you back time and time again. We thought you keep having, or trouble spots you keep running into, or maybe tangible challenge. You're like, every time I try to do this, it falls short. This allows you to have those breakthroughs and open doors that you just can't open on your own. So it's just the power of that thinking and surrounding yourself with those other founders who are as committed to freedom and growth and impact and legacy and faith and all those things that you're committed to. And it's about that full transformation. So it allows our people to just leave with that crystal clear understanding of what their big next is and how to get there, right? And stepping back into your business when it's time, as you come out of these visionary CEO retreats, not just as the CEO, but as the visionary leader your business really craves and needs, so that you can experience that momentum that you're craving and needing. And the work that you're doing creates this ripple effect. And when you grow and when you're aligned, your team grows, your business grows, your impact multiplies. So this is the work. So whether you do it through a format like ours in our Visionary CEO Mastermind, or whether you create this space yourself, it is so powerful and so valuable. And you got to remember, your business isn't just what you build, it's the legacy you leave. It's how you build it on the way there. And don't settle for anything less than what God's calling you to. This I believe in to my core. It's one of the few areas that I can confidently say, this is an area we've mastered, and we love gifting this concept for, paying that forward so that other people can experience like, oh my gosh, why haven't I been doing this all along? There's such a powerful unlock. So again, just DM me the word incubator, or go to luminaryleadershipco.com/incubator. And if it's not you, send this to a friend who you believe in and they're ready for their big next, because there's huge power in that ripple effect of putting in front of people what they need when they need it, out of just knowing that you've heard something that sparked a thought of that person, and just pass it along to them. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we have some big stuff coming. I cannot wait to share, but until next time, thanks.